Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers, Carly and Willow's custody battle. Does Grandma want the kids while injured Michael recovers? General Hospital spoilers indicate that Willow Corinthos will become emotional when Michael Corinthos exploits her recent Washington trip with Wiley Corinthos against her. Willow will fear when she receives a new legal paper. Willow will be concerned about losing her children, but Michael's impending medical crisis will throw the custody battle into pandemonium. Following the explosion and fire at Sonny Corinthos' house, Michael will be gravely injured and unable to care for the children. Willow will understand she needs to act quickly, perhaps because Nina Reeves and Drew Quartermain will be pressing her to make a move to gain an advantage. Willow will be hoping for a clear path to sole custody while Michael is in a hospital bed and eventually a burn clinic. Carly Spencer may have other intentions, as GH teasers suggest she will fight to defend Michael's interests in the coming weeks. Sonny may plead to Nina, arguing that they must do what is best for Wiley and Amelia Corinthos. Perhaps Sonny will agree that the children should stay with Willow, but he will not want them separated from Michael's family. Although Nina and Sonny will find an accord, Carly may be less inclined to compromise. Carly may believe Willow is taking advantage of Michael's situation and attempting to make Drew their replacement father. If Carly decided to pursue this further, she could probably confront Willow and attempt to take custody of Wiley and Amelia herself. After all, Carly isn't generally one to back down from a fight. Carly will issue a harsh warning before the week of January 6th to 10th ends, so she may get in Willow's face and insist that the custody struggle is still ongoing. Of course, Michael could eventually persuade Carly to back down and allow Willow to take the kids for the sake of stability. Amelia and Wiley are already bewildered, and Daddy's absence for medical treatment will add to their bewilderment. Whatever the case, our forecasts indicate that Willow and Carly's conflict is far from done. Even if Carly relents on the custody issue, she will continue to rip at Willow whenever she can. According to General Hospital spoilers, Michael's injuries will change the custody game, so keep an eye out for updates on how this awful news will influence Willow and the kids' futures. On General Hospital, Michael learns shocking information about Willow. Michael set a strategy in motion. Michael has Willow precisely where he wants her. A marriage in flames. Michael had a day full with important news, beginning with the announcement of Sasha's pregnancy. He persuaded her to let him take care of her and the baby financially, but only on one condition: she stay in Port Charles. This prompted Sasha to see GH for prenatal care, while Michael heard another shocking fact. When Michael arrived at Curtis' office, he was surprised to see Nina there, complaining about not being able to stop Willow. When Michael questioned her, she revealed that Willow took Wiley to Drew's swearing-in ceremony. Michael did not answer, instead telling Curtis that they could discuss Aurora business when he wasn't busy, which made Nina wonder why Michael didn't react. Instead of lashing out at his wife in front of enemy number one, Michael returned to his office and immediately called Diane to inform her that Willow had taken their son out of state without authorization. As Michael and Willow's separation progresses, Michael has lots to say about his soon-to-be ex-wife, but Nina has other ideas. And, with Duel shortly leaving as Michael, there's no telling how explosive things will get. What do you think will happen to Michael? Please let us know in the comments. Steve Burton, from General Hospital, is engaged to Michelle Lundstrom. General Hospital spoilers claim that Steve Burton's new year is off to a great start, as he has just announced his engagement to girlfriend Michelle Lundstrom. Burton announced the happy news on his Instagram account, along with a photo of himself down on one knee, presenting a small package to his future bride. The caption says, "Engaged January 3rd, 25. Red Heart Infinity fans will know the uplifting melody, Glory of Love by Peter Cetera. Steve Burton engaged." Burton also added the following post, Jeremiah 29 verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Steve's admirers are overjoyed that he has found happiness again after his divorce from his first wife, Sherry Gustin. Steve and Sherry have 3 children together, and she stunned social media by posting a photo of her pregnant stomach, which Steve had to clarify after receiving good wishes for a 4th child. Steve politely revealed that the child was not his, and he and Sherry are now divorced. General Hospital spoilers: Steve Burton and Michelle Lundstrom are engaged. Steve and Michelle made their romance Instagram public in June by attending the Daytime Emmy Awards together. Michelle shared a snapshot from the event on Instagram, writing, "Beautiful night with the most amazing people. I am so appreciative. Red heart." In a second post, she stated that the night marked our first red carpet together. From start to finish, the night felt like a dream. Thank you for all your lovely remarks and letters. I am extremely grateful. Red heart. GH spoilers: Steve Burton plays Jason Morgan. Later that month, the 43-year-old brunette released a video to commemorate Steve's 54th birthday. "Happiest birthday, my love at one Steve Burton. The world is a better place with you in it. Anyone who has you in their lives in any way is extremely blessed. I believe I will always be in awe of what a great man and human you are. Thank you for carrying the largest fanny pack in Disney and sharing your lovely life with me. I wish you a million more great memories and smiles. You deserve them all. Red heart. #blessed birthday #love. Michelle shared a carousel of photographs with the comment, "July, you were one of the best." General Hospital spoilers: Steve Burton set to get married. Steve and Sherry were married for over 20 years and divorced in December. Steve confirmed their breakup via Instagram story in May 2022. He wrote, "I just wanted to clear something up. Sherry and I are separated." At the time, they decided to share legal and physical custody of their son Jack, 18, and daughter Brooklyn, 10. They have an adult daughter named McKenna. Steve further stated that Sherry recently announced that she is expecting her 4th child. "The child isn't mine. We are still co-parenting our 3 wonderful children. We'd prefer some privacy at this time. Much love, Steve." Sherry gave birth to her daughter Isabella in February 2023, and her 5th child arrived in February 2024. We are delighted for Steve and Michelle and wish them all the best. Send us your thoughts on the fantastic news in the comments area below. The Port Charles power struggle: allies and rivals. The tides of Port Charles are changing, and with them comes the possibility of a new order in the underworld. With rumors of alliances, rivalries, and betrayals, the stakes have never been higher. As familiar faces and new characters join the conflict, the city teeters on the brink of disaster, and every decision could decide the fate of its dark underbelly. Selena Wu's unwavering presence. Selena Wu, a formidable player in the Port Charles crime underworld, has resurfaced, indicating a potential shake-up. Selena, known for her calculated plans and chilly manner, thrives in a world where power is the currency. As she continues to rule her area, Selena maintains a tight eye on those who dare to enter her kingdom. Her underground poker sessions are more than just gambling events, they are strategic gatherings where alliances are formed and enemies are discovered. It is here that possible collaborators and adversaries emerge, and it appears that 2 new players are willing to take risks. Cyrus Renault, redeemed man or master manipulator? Cyrus Renault's current behavior has been puzzling to many familiar with his history. Cyrus has successfully presented himself as a repentant guide by preaching salvation and referencing scripture. However, in a place like Port Charles, skepticism is rampant. Is this newfound faith genuine, or is it a clever ruse to reclaim power? Cyrus has a history of using his charm to conceal his true aims, and many people believe his rhetoric of atonement masks a deeper agenda. Everyone is wondering who will benefit from Cyrus' return to the fold, and at what cost. The unsolved murders of Dex Heller and Sam McCall add to the suspense. Could Cyrus be responsible for their untimely deaths? If that's the case, his motivations could be significantly more sinister than most people realize. Enter Jens Sidwell, a new wild card. Jens Sidwell is a moniker that is rapidly gaining popularity in the Port Charles underground. Sidwell, known for his acute instincts and merciless manner, is no stranger to long-term strategy. His talent for poker is more than simply a hobby, it reflects his ability to analyze people and situations with incredible accuracy. Sidwell's arrival has already created waves, particularly as he searches the ports for fresh business prospects. Unlike the other crime lords in town, Sidwell isn't satisfied with small-time enterprises. He's ambitious, and his concept goes far beyond normal rackets. Sidwell's reputation follows him, since he is linked to dubious dealings with Holly Sutton. His skill to navigate the muddy waters of Port Charles's criminal underworld makes him a deadly challenger for power. An unlikely alliance? The notion of Cyrus Renaud and Jens Sidwell collaborating has become an alluring prospect. Both men have the cunning and resources to dominate, but their separate skills may make them invincible together. A potential alliance could emerge at one of Selena Wu's infamous poker games. As the two men assess one another, mutual regard may open the path for partnership. After all, two heads are frequently better than one, especially in a dynamic metropolis like Port Charles. However, partnerships in the underworld are rarely easy. Trust is a luxury, and betrayal is a commodity in itself. If Cyrus and Sidwell decide to join forces, their alliance might either transform the criminal landscape or disintegrate dramatically. Sonny Corinthos, a vulnerable kingpin. Sonny Corinthos could not have chosen a worse time for these power plays. Rumors of his worsening health have spread, eroding his grip on the criminal empire he has built over the years. If Sonny's health becomes public knowledge, rivals may feel emboldened to make their moves. Appointing Christina Corinthos as his proxy or successor may further disrupt his business. Christina's impulsive personality and lack of expertise make her a wild card, with the potential to either consolidate or destabilize Sonny's legacy. The future of Port Charles. Port Charles has always been a city of mystery, with power conflicts taking place in dark alleys and opulent palaces alike. With Selena Wu defending her fortress, Cyrus Renaud preparing his next move, and Jens Sidwell carving out his own space, the stage is set for a fight that will leave no one untouched. Will Cyrus and Sidwell establish a partnership to oppose the current system, or will they engage in a war for supremacy? Can Sonny keep control of his empire, or will his health and others' ambitions bring him down? A phoenix from the flames, Michael Corinthos' journey of survival and sacrifice. The bustling halls of Port Charles General Hospital have long served as a crossroads for life-changing events, and Michael Corinthos' fate is now dangerously balanced. The leaked footage of Michael's dramatic ordeal has aroused alarm among admirers, but whispers around town indicate resilience rather than demise. While Michael's physical recuperation will be difficult, his spirit remains intact. This story focuses on the aftermath of the fire, his relationship with others around him, and a selfless plea that has the potential to change many people's lives. The Inferno and Aftermath. The explosion that wrecked Sonny Corinthos' penthouse represented a watershed moment, leaving Michael encased in flames and fighting for his life. As the flames blazed, Jason Morgan performed a daring rescue, snatching Michael from the verge of death. When Michael was transported to GH, his body exhibited the scars of the fire, severe burns that would necessitate significant surgery and a lengthy recuperation. Wrapped in bandages, his condition reflected that of a phoenix emerging from the ashes, a representation of both fragility and enormous might. As Michael lay in the hospital bed, surrounded by concerned family members, it became evident that his battle was only beginning. Jason Morgan, steadfast and loyal, remained alert by Michael's bedside. Despite the pain and uncertainty, Michael thanked Jason for saving his life. The road to recovery. The personnel at Port Charles General Hospital gave bad news. Michael's injuries required specialist care that they could not offer. To properly recover, he would have to travel abroad to a prestigious burn facility recognized for cutting-edge reconstructive surgeries. Though the decision to leave was heartbreaking, Michael understood it was necessary. His departure caused a gap in the Quartermain and Corinthos families, but it also provided an opportunity for new dynamics to form. Before leaving, Michael made one final, passionate request that would kick off a chain of events. A father's dilemma. Michael kept a secret from most people. Sasha Gilmore Corbin was carrying his child. Though the two had ended their love relationship, Sasha's pregnancy impacted their lives even more. Michael had initially resolved to keep his distance, feeling that it was best for everyone involved, but the severity of his injuries shifted his outlook. Calling Jason to his side, Michael explained the truth and begged him to watch after Sasha and the unborn child in his absence. "I can't be there for them," Michael said, his voice hoarse but firm. "But I need to know they are safe." Jason, you've always been there for me. Be there for them, too. Jason, stunned by the discovery, gave his promise. His devotion to Michael was unshakable, and he accepted responsibility without hesitation. Sasha's resolve. Meanwhile, Sasha was dealing with her own issues. Her independence and resolve contrasted with the difficulties of being connected to both the Quartermain and Corinthos families, worlds she had attempted to escape. The thought of her child growing up surrounded by mob connections and business manipulations was frightening. When Jason contacted her with Michael's plea, Sasha first refused. "I don't need a protector," she said, Jason, firmly. "I've been through enough to know how to stand on my own." But Jason's calm manner and reassurance gradually softened her resolve. He supported her freedom but promising to provide a quiet support system if she needed it. A new connection. As the weeks went into months, Sasha and Jason formed an unusual friendship. Living on the huge Quartermain estate increased the frequency and significance of their contacts. Jason, with his stern personality and protective instincts, became a source of stability for Sasha. Sasha, in turn, gave Jason a sense of warmth and tenderness that he hadn't felt in years. Their shared concern for Michael's health and the unborn child established a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. However, their relationship began to change in unexpected ways. The quiet moments of conversation, silent glances, and shared challenges triggered emotions that both attempted to hide. The weight of expectations. Sasha's effort to keep her toddler out of the mob scene exacerbated the situation. Jason, a cornerstone of that community, represented everything she wished to protect her baby against. The struggle between her love and her values sparked a maelstrom of mixed emotions. Jason, too, struggled with his emotions. While his aim remained to meet Michael's request, he couldn't deny his increasing feelings for Sasha. His allegiance to Michael and sense of duty weighed hard on him, making every decision difficult. A turning point. Michael maintained communication via video chats and letters while this treatment progressed overseas. His gratitude for Jason's support, as well as his everlasting optimism, provided strength to both Jason and Sasha. However, the ultimate test came when Sasha experienced a health scare during her pregnancy. Jason's unwavering presence throughout the experience cemented their trust. It was a moment that brought them closer together while also forcing them to face the reality of their relationship. The road ahead. The journey of Michael, Jason, and Sasha is far from over. Michael's recovery and subsequent return to Port Charles will present their own set of problems, particularly as he navigates his role as a father. Secrets in the shadows, suspicion falls on a trusted nurse. A black cloud hangs over the sacred corridors of the local hospital, where lives are saved and hope is restored every day. A series of strange fatalities has left medical personnel reeling and the community on edge. At the center of this tempest is a dedicated nurse whose impeccable reputation has suddenly come into question. As the investigation progresses, more questions emerge concerning the underlying origin of these terrible events and whether a malevolent power is hiding within the hospital's walls. The stakes are enormous, since the truth may not only exonerate the innocent but also avert future loss of life. The first tragedy. The initial occurrence stunned everyone. A patient who had recently received a life-saving transplant was making excellent progress in recovery. Her relatives and friends breathed a collective sigh of relief, assuming the worst had passed. However, their delight was short-lived. One morning, the patient was discovered unresponsive. Despite the efforts of the medical team, she was unable to be revived. The autopsy found a startling cause of death, an overdose on a strong cardiac drug that was not among her approved medications. The discovery sent shockwaves throughout the hospital. How did such a catastrophic blunder happen? The administration quickly initiated an internal investigation to determine whether the overdose was accidental or purposeful. Another life lost. Before the staff could digest the initial tragedy, another patient suffered a similar fate. A first responder hurt in the course of duty was admitted with a minor wound. The damage, while painful, was not life-threatening, and the patient appeared to be on track for a full recovery following successful surgery. Only a few days later, he died of a heart arrest. The conditions were similar to the last case, generating red flags and increasing the staff's discomfort. The hospital's administration was under increasing pressure to provide answers and convince the public that their loved ones were secure in their care. A nurse under fire. The chief nurse, a respected person with extensive experience, found herself in an uncomfortable position. As the person in charge of overseeing patient care, she was now being investigated. Though her co-workers were hesitant to assume she was involved, the data suggested a frightening possibility. The nurse's every step was scrutinized. Were these murders the consequence of a mistake on her part, or was she purposely framed? The uncertainty weighed heavily on her, yet she was firm in her determination to discover the truth. Whispers from a dark past. As the investigation progressed, the nurse began having unpleasant memories. Flashbacks to a previous encounter with a figure whose presence had always disturbed her began to emerge. This person, known for his deceptive and destructive inclinations, had a history of wreaking havoc wherever he went. The nurse couldn't shake the suspicion that this man was somehow involved in the previous incidents. Though she lacked clear evidence, her intuition told her that he was pulling the strings and orchestrating these tragedies to advance his own goal. A revelation in the shadows. One evening, while examining patient records, the nurse overheard something that confirmed her concerns. The man she remembered from her memories was observed on the hospital floor on the day of one of the fatalities. His presence, while ostensibly benign, appeared sinister in light of previous events. The nurse expressed her worries to a close friend, a colleague employee who had also begun to observe abnormalities in hospital operations. They decided to investigate deeper, determined to find the truth before any more lives were lost. The culprit has been revealed. Their research resulted in a surprising finding. The man they thought had interfered with the patient's therapy. Using his understanding of the hospital's protocols, he gained access to their drugs and administered lethal amounts of the cardiac drug. His motivations were unknown, but one thing was certain: he was a dangerous person who needed to be stopped. The nurse and her ally understood they needed to act swiftly, but they also recognized that approaching him directly could endanger their own lives. A race against time. As the evidence against the individual grew, he became more desperate. Sensing the walls closing in, he began to cover his tracks, even threatening anyone who stood in his way. The nurse was unfazed by his intimidating techniques and proceeded to collect information. Her determination was fueled by a desire to cleanse her name and ensure justice was delivered to the victims and relatives. A dramatic showdown. The scenario escalated when the man attempted another attack. The nurse, an associate, and a trusted member of police enforcement faced him in a tense confrontation. He originally denied any culpability, but the evidence they presented forced him to admit. His arrest marked the end of a tumultuous period for the hospital, but the wounds caused by his acts would take time to heal. Despite being vindicated, the nurse felt guilty and questioned whether she could have done more to avert the tragedies. Moving forward. Following the incident, the hospital increased security measures and performed a thorough review of its policies. The community rallied to support and thank the personnel for their heroic efforts to protect patients. The nurse, though disturbed, took comfort in knowing that her efforts had helped bring a dangerous man to justice. She swore to continue her job with renewed zeal, determined to keep her hospital a safe refuge for everyone who sought its services. For Jason and Sasha, the future is unknown. Their friendship has strengthened, but they confront major challenges. Whether their relationship grows into something more or remains based on mutual respect, one thing is certain: Michael's selfless request has forever changed their lives. Fighting for family, a custody battle amidst tragedy in Port Charles. Family ties are both a blessing and a curse in Port Charles's tight-knit yet turbulent community. Willow Corinthos believes the stakes have never been higher. She gets caught up in a maelstrom of emotions, alliances, and betrayals as she battles for custody of her two children, Wiley and Amelia. Michael Corinthos, her estranged partner, adds to the confusion by being both her legal adversary and a victim of a terrible explosion that changes everything. As the burning catastrophe threatens Michael's life, the once clear lines of their custody struggle become blurred. This is a story of love, tragedy, and the extreme lengths one will go to defend their family. The Custody Papers. The story begins with Willow in surprise, staring at the legal paperwork that have unexpectedly arrived in her hands. Her recent trip to Washington with Wiley, which was supposed to provide the child with some break and adventure, was now being used against her. Despite their troubled relationship, Michael had made a premeditated move to dispute her maternity rights. Willow felt betrayed. "I can't believe he would do this," Willow said, her voice quivering as she spoke to Nina Reeves, her confidant. Nina, ever the opportunist and guardian of her own, leaned in, her face anxious and calculated. "You need to stay strong," Nina suggested. "Michael is fragile right now, and you should focus on what is best for Wiley and Amelia. Don't let Carly or anyone else pressure you into quitting up." The explosion that transformed everything. Even as Willow planned her next action, disaster struck. An explosion rocked Sonny Corinthos' house, a fortress of secrets and power, engulfing much of it in flames. Michael was among those injured, suffering severe burns and being transported to General Hospital in critical condition. The incident placed a pall over the custody dispute. Willow found herself at a crossroads after Michael became incapacitated and was unable to care for the children or participate in court processes. As news of Michael's injuries spread, the Corinthos and Quartermain families banded together. Carly Spencer, ever the protective mother and formidable matriarch, saw this as an opportunity to step in. "Willow's not taking the kids without a fight," Carly said during a heated argument with Sonny. "Michael needs stability for his children," Sonny answered, his tone calm but stern. "Right now, this means remaining with Willow. But they won't be cut off from us." Lines in sand. Willow saw the unexpected shift in dynamics as both an opportunity and a moral quandary. Nina and Drew Quartermain, Willow's loyal supporters, encouraged her to act quickly. "Michael's in no condition to parent," Drew protested. "You have to secure sole custody now, while you have the chance." Willow hesitated, conflicted between her desire to protect her children and the realization that this would appear as exploitation to people on Michael's side. Meanwhile, Carly saw things differently. Willow's moves appeared to her to be premeditated and opportunistic. Carly was blunt when she confronted Willow at GH. "Do you believe you can use Michael's injuries to force him out of his own children's lives?" Carly snapped. "Over my dead body." Willow stood her ground. "This is not about you, Carly. This is about what is best for Wiley and Amelia. They need stability, not more chaos." Michael's plea for peace. Michael regained consciousness amid the growing tensions. Bandaged and in excruciating pain, he summoned Carly to his hospital room. "Mom, stop," Michael said, his voice barely above a whisper. "The kids, let them stay with Willow for now. They need her." "But Michael," Carly began, only to be interrupted by her son's plaintive eyes. "No more fighting," Michael demanded. "They've been through enough." His remarks struck a chord, at least temporarily quelling Carly's rage. The children's perspective. Wiley and Amelia were at the center of the fight, caught up in a maelstrom they didn't understand. Wiley, who was old enough to feel the strain, clung to Willow more tightly than ever. "Where is Daddy?" Wiley inquired one night, his large eyes brimming with concern. "He's getting better, sweetheart," Willow informed him, choking back her emotions. "He loves you very much." Amelia, who was too little to understand the gravity of the situation, relied on her mother's steady presence for support. A fragile agreement. In the weeks that followed, a tentative accord emerged. Sonny served as a mediator, advising both parties to prioritize the children's needs. Carly grudgingly agreed to back down, but her distrust of Willow persisted. "You've won this round," Carly said Willow after a heated exchange in the hospital. "But don't think for a second that I'm out of the picture." Willow, while being fatigued from the combat, felt a little sense of victory. At the moment, her children were secure and with her. The road ahead. Michael said his family a tearful farewell as he prepared to travel for a specialized burn facility overseas. "Take care of them," he begged Willow, his voice full of hope and sadness. "I will," Willow promised, her heart burdened from the weight of everything they had been through. Though the immediate custody battle had receded, the future remained unknown. The physical and mental scars left by the explosion would take some time to heal. However, for Wiley, Amelia, and everyone else involved, the events of these weeks would have long-term consequences. In Port Charles, where family is both a blessing and a source of conflict, the struggle for love and stability never completely ends. Mysterious enemy revealed. Who's behind Sonny's penthouse explosion? According to General Hospital spoilers, Sonny Corinthos will experience an emotional roller coaster following an explosion at his penthouse. Once a fire breaks out, someone will attack Sonny's home and force Michael Corinthos to pay the price. When Michael is caught in the fire and suffers severe burns, Sonny will experience a mix of despair and rage. Fans of General Hospital know Sonny is serious about his children and wants to protect them. Sonny may feel like he failed Michael, just as he failed Morgan Corinthos, but he will not let the person responsible get away with it. According to General Hospital spoilers, Sonny will begin his search for answers and plans to take down his secret nemesis. Who will be responsible for Sonny's penthouse explosion? The program will have to identify who is to blame sooner or later, so we should consider some potential solutions. For starters, explosions are clearly Cyrus Renault's style, so we wouldn't be surprised if he was to fault. It's easy to envision Cyrus buying into the religious rhetoric and condemning Sonny to the flames on his own personal Judgment Day. However, it's also plausible that this is linked to the mob and someone's ambition to take over Sonny's area. Selena Wu could appear if the production chose to send her down a darker path, but she could still remain an ally to Sonny. Jen Sidwell, who has arrived in town and taken on the role of Port Charles's new resident baddie, could be responsible for the bomb. It all depends on Sidwell's full schedule now that he's returned for another story arc. Of course, it would be an interesting twist if someone like Agent John Jagger-Cates returned from the dead and sought vengeance. Everything is possible in the world of soaps, so bear that in mind. Depending on how events go, the program may even create a new foe for Sonny. It's too early to identify who is targeting Sonny, but he will undoubtedly decide to find out who is guilty and wipe them off the map. Our GH predictions indicate that Sonny will look for clues and may discover some huge ones down the road, so stay tuned for updates on any surprising news that emerges. According to General Hospital rumors, Sonny will feel guilty over Michael's trauma and will cope by immersing himself in the investigation of the explosion. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.